Good evening, sir. I am Christian Lauron. I am a member of Quino's group, together with Dave Elian de los Reyes, and I am reporting solo for this speech, for I am late. I'm sorry for the interruptions. Reinstating the death penalty is a sign of a belief that the only way to achieve true justice is to confront evil head-on and put an end to it using legal means. According to Amnesty International, without a date, there are at least 28,670 individuals around the world that are facing the death sentence. The enactment of the death as a penalty for violating an unlawful law is known as capital punishment. It's according to impact law without a date. It is the most severe kind of brutal, barbaric, and dehumanizing punishment, according to Amnesty International without a date. This essay aims to explain people why the death penalty is ought to be implemented again in the Philippines. So, human rights advocates and organizations strongly oppose the death penalty in the Philippines, pointing to reasons such as unproven effectiveness as a deterrent to crime, its unfair outcomes on the impoverished, its breach of ratified treaty obligations, and the necessity of severe limitations on its implementation, according to the Commission on Human Rights on the year 2022. In the meantime, proponents of the death penalty emphasize the idea of an eye for an eye. It's a way to remember the victims and to stop more tragedies, as well as the death penalty's cost effectiveness, crime deterrence, and role in upholding law and order, according to PROCON on the year 2021. The terrible story of Christine Lee Silawan, a 16-year-old who vanished in the year 2019 and ended up being murdered brutally with several stab wounds and her face skinned. Horrifying images went viral on social media, shocking and frightening people everywhere. It's according to Limos on the year 2019. Advocates of the death penalty in the Philippines argue that it must be implemented again to put an end to heinous crimes and ensure justice for victims. They say that the threat of harsh punishment acts as a deterrent, keeping potential criminals from committing crimes like murder and rape. Furthermore, supporters point out that the death penalty is more affordable than the cost of incarceration for a lengthy sentence. Critics believe that taxpayers should not have to pay for the bill for the support of the criminals. It's according to IDANG, the debate as a whole urges a re-examination of the death penalty's place in the Philippine system of balanced crime prevention and victim justice. It argued that the death penalty is an essential form of punishment and prevention for brutal crimes, acting to protect potential victims, provide equal justice, and emphasize the seriousness of the acts. They believe that criminals' deaths function as an appropriate retaliation and powerful deterrence to future crimes. In addition, supporters of the death penalty point out that it is more affordable than imprisonment, and that is legitimate since it punishes criminals according to their seriousness, upholding a sense of justice in society, according to AHAMD in the year 2015. Adopted on March 2nd, in the year 2021, House Bill number 7814 reinstates the death penalty for new offenses in the Philippines under the 2002 Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act. It's according to O'Connor in the year 2021. The bill, which changes the Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002, has merged from 11 existing legislation in response to President Rodrigo Duterte's repeated campaign for the reinstatement of the death penalty, according to Barbers and Garben of the year 2020. Despite the death penalty's 2006 elimination, the bill, which passed on March 2, 2021, only applies to drug traffickers who commit serious crimes against society, according to PTV News on the year 2021. It represents a significant change in the public conversation about the death penalty. In conclusion, the argument points out how important it is to apply severe punishment to protect future victims, maintain social norms, and recognize the fundamental understanding of fairness that exists in all people. The essay argues that despite the protest from human rights campaigners, the death sentence is a fair and appropriate way to deal with heinous crimes. It requires evaluating a prisoner's conduct and mental health, allowing them to review 3 cases before the requirement for psychological rehabilitation. Execution is a possibility if rehabilitation is unsuccessful and the patient returns to their violent tendencies. Families of the victims should speak with the prisoner. If the offender is a threat to others, the death sentence is considered mercy killing that stops additional harm to society. And that is all. Once again, I'm Christian Lauron from Jorin News Group. Good night.